Oi, my name's Alex, and welcome back to Toad. You join me again in my permanently out of focus void. But this time, I'm gonna be doing my best too. And the way I wanted to do this was similar to how I came up with my idea for the Wordbearer's Chaos Lord, and that was boiling the Legion down to a few different points. Siege warfare, hammers, Mark III armor, and overall just generally being very salty about stuff. But, you know. So for this, I wanted to go to a number of kits, the first of which being the Plague Marines kit, the second being the Havoc's kit. There's also the old Mark III kit, however, you can substitute parts from other sources, and I have given a little list as and when they pop up. Same with some of the Bionic bits. And lastly, I also turned to the Cadian Castellan. Cadian? No. And lastly, I also turned to the Black Templars Castellan. Again, for reasons you'll see later on. But, with the intro out of the way, let's get to that.
The first step for the conversion was to work on the body. For this, I wanted to create something that felt brutal, but also baroque. So I turned to two kits, the Plague Marines and the Havoc kits. I took the legs from the Plague Champion and this body from the Havoc kit. I then separated both at the belt buckle, before then taking the chance to remove any overtly beplagued elements from the Plague Champion legs. And I will be filling in some of the more egregious dents later on. But I then attached the torso from the Havoc's kit to the legs of the Plague Marine Champion with plastic cement. And don't worry, I do have a kitbash planned in a few weeks that uses the rest of these parts. But, moving on. For the backpack, I took one of the Mark III backpacks from the Plague Marine kit, specifically this one with the added vents. Then, cleaning up any mould lines and sprue tabs with my scalpel. I then took one of the missile launcher backpack missile grabber thingies. Don't know if that's the correct terminology, but I again cleaned it up with my scalpel. Following this, I used my hobby snips to remove the left exhaust vent, before then using my scalpel to smooth the cut down. I also took this opportunity to scrape away the ball joint on the missile arm to a flat surface that was at a slight angle, and once again used plastic cement to attach them together. My next step was to work on the right arm. I wanted to give the Lord a mechanical arm, and for this I went to the easy to build Assault Intercessor kit. Now, this is out of production, so for another source I'd recommend is the Iron Hands Chapter Upgrade kit, or alternatively you could look at the Blood Angels Death Company kit. But firstly I had to remove the shoulder pad, and for this I used my hobby snips and scalpel to remove the plastic till I could put a new shoulder pad over the top of it. And I also wanted to give this Lord a plasma pistol and thunderhammer loadout, very similar to the Warpsmith or the Chaos Lord model you can already buy. So for this I took a plasma pistol from the Chaos Space Marines kit and used my scalpel to cut off the hand from the plasma pistol, and I also then cut off the Assault Intercessor plasma pistol from the bionic arm. There should be a counter for how many times I've just said plasma pistol. Before then adjusting the cut till it looked right. I had to shave down the trigger finger slightly and the trigger well of the plasma pistol, but when I was happy with this look, I secured the bond with plastic cement. For the right arm, I took a standard Chaos Space Marine arm with a chainsword because I liked the pose, and I used my scalpel to remove the hand from the arm. I then brought in a hand holding one of the old Mark III Thunderhammers, and again, I know this kit is out of production, this is just because it's what I had on hand, and I have used it to do Iron Warriors conversions in the past, so this part does hold a spot in my heart. However, some other good sources are the Goliath kits and the Warpsmith kit. However, any other suitably brutal looking thunderhammers should work. But this hand was then just simply affixed to the arm using plastic cement. Moving back to the body, I made some final adjustments. I took a skull from the Citadel Skulls kit, and after removing the back of a full skull, I attached it over the knee. It did have a demonic growth on it previously, and using my hobby snips, I removed the plug that would go into a normal Havoc backpack, but due to the Plague Marine one not fitting, I had to remove it. And I then grabbed the helmet I would be using. This is the Black Templars Castellan helmet, potentially a little hint for the next video. But I then shaved down the mould lines away with the back of my scalpel and used the plastic cement to fix the helmet in place, using the lug that's present on the bottom of the neck joint to provide some extra support for the helmet, as it doesn't fit fully in, but I didn't want to shave away any of the wires, as I felt it made the model seem a bit more imposing to make it seem a bit bigger, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But yeah, following this, I then simply attached the backpack and the two arms to the model with plastic cement and left this to dry. Once it had dried, I attached two shoulder pads, a Mark III shoulder pad to the right arm and a Havoc shoulder pad to the left arm. I then mixed up some Gorilla Pup, however any sculpting medium would work here, and applied it over the left leg's dent to make the armour look in less disrepair than if it was an actual Plague Marine. Continuing on, I took this Nighthaunt part and attached it between the left shoulder pad and the backpack to act as a half cape to help add a bit more motion to the model. And finally I took some scale barbed wire, and after applying some super glue to the start point, I wrapped it around tightly around the hammerhead before coming in with some thin super glue and fixing it in place. Then, after basing and painting the model, I was left with this. Overall, I believe that this encapsulates the Iron Warriors very well. It doesn't feel overtly chaosy, but as well as tapping into their ties with the Dark Mechanicum very well. I hope that you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time, where I'll be making a model that isn't chaos for once.